Morning, guys. It's January 4th, 2016. I'm ready with the goddess, drinking a cup of beautiful coffee. I was recording my last video, and halfway in, I turned it off because there was like a 5-minute pause of me like, what was I saying? What was this video about? I could have left it with the blooper as usual, but it's a little dark in here, isn't it? As you can see through the curtain, it's actually very sunny, which we haven't been getting sun here for quite some time, so that's a good thing, I think. Okay, so I want to make this video about healing modalities, not so much about the healing modalities itself, and I'm not going to educate you about them, but I feel as though a lot of people have been telling me and talking to me about how they've been called to by spirit or their higher self or the guardians or ancestors or even people and stuff of that nature to get a healing session done and to like back-to-back crystal healing done, join like mystery schools and like have group healings done and not really, and that they're overexhausted, really tired, how it's been affecting their mood and their everyday life at work when with friendships. So I figured, you know what, why don't I just make a video about this? And I just feel like, as somebody who's been through a lot in terms of spirituality, I'm going to give you an input about what I'm not going to tell you what I've experienced. If you've been watching my videos, you probably know and see some things of what I've experienced, but I feel like people, when you go through a healing, or even a reading, like for example, my readings have healings incorporated with them, most of my healings, okay, because the amount of like the vibrations that I sent out. So my suggestion is, please don't go doing massive amounts of, or going to classes or like getting services by people back to back, especially by random people that are not even connected, or like not even just that, but by different people, when you have not put down the past to rest, or you haven't settled it back into the roots, back into the earth, or that you're not recognizing something that needs to be let go of. You need to do your part. And sometimes in order to do your part, you gotta just really lay there and sit there and deal with your shit. And when I mean deal with your shit, I mean that can be in so many different levels and so many different ways of dealing with your shit, guys. Like, you can go to the world's best healer. You can go to the best of the best. You can go to the mountains and sit on the mountains and fast and literally talk to God. But if you're not dealing with your shit, it's going to keep happening. It's going to resurface. And by you avoiding people, and because I've tried that, because I have gone through that stage where I was like, I don't want relationships. I don't want family. I don't want friends. I just want me in my temple. I just want me and my like spirits, and that's all I'm working with. But it's not part of my ultimate plan. And it was hurting me in the long run, because although it heightened my spiritual powers to the point of like an extremely high vibrational thing where I don't even have to work very hard to do spell work or like shamanistic stuff. Like I really don't. I don't have to put in much effort for things to start happening, because of everything that I've, really accomplished within myself. But, and my extrasensory perceptions and all that stuff, right? But I feel like, mind you, when I was doing like my ancestral work and community stuff, like healings, and I'm talking, excuse me, severe, like removing like exorcists from people's, I wasn't calling it, excuse me, I wasn't calling it that, but it was like seriously removing like demons from people's physical bodies. Or lower entities or lower vibes and stuff. People's haunted pasts and stuff. And, I feel like, like while I was doing all that, I was like eating pho. I was taking like 6 to 12 showers a day. Can you believe that? 6 to 12 showers a day. And every single time I was showering, I would do literally an alignment in the shower, sometimes before the shower, and during the shower and after the shower, energetically and physically clearing my aura, locking and locking my aura so that nothing can get in. Because when you're the one that has the light and you're doing all this work, those entities love to cling on to you, okay? So mind you, when you're working with high vibes, of course, like I don't want to say you're a target or anything, but in a metaphorical sense, you really are. So you got to make sure you're doing a lot of your aura work, protecting your aura, clearing your aura, doing your visualizations. Like I was doing more than just visualizations. I was doing a lot, you know. So anyways, I was eating a lot of pho soup. It's a Vietnamese type of soup. And it's like superfood. But anyways, you guys need to deal with your shit. Because getting healings can be really addictive for people that really are not aware of how much work that inner work that they gotta do. If you've had a traumatic childhood or your parents have been absent in your life and you've resorted to addictions, sex addictions, drug addictions, drinking addictions, attachment to people that are not good for you, abusive people, you know, then yeah, healing is awesome. Readings are awesome. But really, you got to be able to really truly deal with your shit in order to really let that stuff go. And then when you let that stuff go, you may go through transitions of wanting it back because you've had so many years of an attachment to it, so many years that it's kind of feeding you, and that's the only food that you're aware of or you've been aware of all your life. I'm gonna have to charge this because it's like telling me it's about to shut off. So 1 second. Not even quite sure if this is okay. There we have it. Let's charge it. This fucking shuts off on me. So do you know what I mean? So, for example, I know I can understand too, like on top of that, it can get pricey. Like there's, there are healers and readers that will swap stuff with you. For example, if you were to get into like Reiki, it's getting too dark in here now. If you were to get into Reiki healings, then, they do swaps and stuff. I had to go through a lot of transitions the first time I ever had Reiki, okay? Like when I got my Reiki certificate, I went there I didn't intentionally go to do, to be like a teacher for Reiki. I just went there because I was literally called for it and I was literally paid for it. So it just led me to it. Everything just kept leading me to it. Even the sound, the theory of sound and the power of sound and all that stuff. I was led to it. I'm not somebody that would ever look into this stuff, guys. Like, I just had a lot of life experience, and all the books, the ancient books, when I would read them, after I experienced them, and somehow I attracted it to me, I was like, holy shit, I've been through this, and this is the only thing that understands me, because it's written prior, because people wouldn't understand, psychologists wouldn't understand. Psychologists from my high school, like top psychologists, try to understand my brain, and they're like, there's no word for you in the psychology books. There's no one definition for you. You're you. And so, anyways, and so they do swaps and stuff like that. And sometimes you do connect with people. Like, for example, there was this one girl, because we, obviously with Reiki sessions or Reiki classes, multiple people do Reiki on you, and you do it on other people to get your certification and whatnot. But I remember there was this one girl, she was like a year or 2 years younger than me, and she had Care Bear tattoos with rainbows on her arms, on her arm, and she was like the cutest girl ever. She was Vietnamese, or Japanese and Vietnamese and Italian mix. Again, like I said, Italians follow me everywhere. And I didn't tell her anything. Okay, I didn't tell her anything about my life. Mind you, I had just gotten out of a very sadistic, forceful, abusive engagement relationship. Like, I was engaged to this man, to this guy, and he was like obsessed with me. I know, like, he loved me, but his love was more his idea of love. It was an obsession, and it was what he knew about love. And I was all about, I need to get the hell out of this, because it's like beyond. And so I just feel like, when I went there, when I had the Reiki session done, when I had the Reiki session done, I'm like waiting for that to end. When I had the Reiki session done, I should put some music on, but YouTube puts like copyright notes and stuff. So I had the Reiki session done, and I can't even fucking express myself. So I had the Reiki session done with this girl, and like, she was whatever, she was doing Reiki on me, and I did not tell her anything. I didn't tell her anything about my childhood. I didn't tell her anything about sexual traumas. I didn't tell her about some psychotic boyfriends that I had. Nada. I told her nothing. And during her time of Reiki with me, she stopped. She covered her face. She had tears coming down her eyes. And she started to cry. And she's like, I saw what happened to you. And I looked at her, and we're looking at each other, and all the other people, they're looking at us like, what the fuck's going on, And she's just like, and after that, she would like follow me everywhere, and she'd be like, let's go have lunch together, let's go have coffee together. We exchanged numbers. I don't think, we never ended up like meeting up or anything, but I bumped into her in front of the subway at Yonge and Finch. And she didn't even live that far from me, but I was just really busy and stuff, and so, even though at the time, I used to live in Oak Ridges at the time, and she lived not that far from me, but we used to go to like Yonge and Eglinton. The place that we used to go was Yonge and Eglinton, Toronto. It's like downtown, right? So I don't know if I'm mumbling because they're talking and I just can't. I'm losing my train of thought. So with this conversation, I feel like I should be fucking. I have to constantly talk about my past, don't I? It's like I have to talk about my past because there are people that are benefiting from my past, and this is an example of you have to deal with your shit, guys. Had I not dealt with my shit, for starters, I wouldn't be able to talk about this stuff to even in private, let alone in public. On top of that, I wouldn't have been able to, every time I would talk about it, it would resurface the pain. But it's not. Because I've worked, like, you know, I've worked. My inner work has been completed with that trauma and whatnot, right? So, it's, I feel as though the experience, the trauma itself, like, the event will never go away, but the pain must. Okay, guys? So you can't get that memory block out of your head because I've tried that and it can get dangerous. Alright? It can get really dangerous. So, yeah. My suggestion is please, just guys, deal with your shit. You gotta deal with your stuff, okay? Running away from it doesn't work. Because when you do, and even if you do succeed, a lot of people don't succeed by running away, but even if you did, your shit will follow you, okay? And it'll follow you in your new friendships, it'll follow you in your new relationships, and it'll cause stagnant issues and reoccurring problems of your childhood or your whatever back into these new people. And you don't want to sabotage your new friendships. You don't want to sabotage your new projects. You don't want to sabotage all of it. So, okay, I know I'm a leader, and sometimes I'm like, go, go, go. And, like, Saturn really gets to me, and he's like, go, go, go. And you guys feel off my, like, inspiration and my vibes and stuff, but do please take time to heal, to really deal with your stuff, and work through it, okay? I'm very understanding. So, excuse me, I'm very understanding, so, you know, like, yeah. I'm trying to think if I had, oh, I love the smell. If I had anything else to say. I have missed Sweetgrass so much. I used to work with Sweetgrass a lot in 2013. And then I just started working with Pine after in 2014 a lot. And Palo Santo. Those were my main two in 2014. And of course Sage, but there was like days where I was like, okay, Sage is like, I just, like, it was getting too much. And I'm not really into those incense sticks. I'd rather have the actual plant and stuff. There's so many pine trees behind my house that I go collect them. I don't like rip them off the trees, but the ones that have fallen naturally, I collect them. And I burn them. So yeah. On another note, I was interviewed, I won't give names out. I was interviewed by this lady that lives in California. Um, and she interviewed me because she wanted me to be part of her movement. She has a movement, and she states that she will not think twice about people, about moving her joining her movement, unless you have like proof of your amount of work and stuff that you've done, that you've completed, okay? And so she asked me, like, she's like, I'll do an interview with you. We had like a 2 hour interview, less than 2 hours. And she told me that she charges people, um, like other people, like her clients, she'll charge like $6,000 to $12,000. And I was like, for like healings and stuff in California. And I was like, huh? You know, 6 to 12 thousand. Like, oh, with all due respect, like, are you the Queen Elizabeth? Like, $6,000 to $12,000, and it's like, and I just that's the movement that she's got, you know, and she works with other healers and stuff of that nature that are really, really like um, empowered and know what they're doing with their work, and to join her work and to get like a movement going, you know. And I was like, I'm sorry, like I can't, like $6,000 to $12,000 for like a 5 day event. I was like, no, I just don't get me wrong. I believe in receiving money for the work that you put in, but I don't believe it should be $6,000 to $12,000. I mean, that's why I say, guys, um, your greatest healer is yourself, and in order to really, really heal, you gotta deal with your shit. You gotta rest. You gotta sleep. Um, drink water. Go out in nature. You know, don't get me wrong. It's great to have a healer and a teacher and a guide or a spiritual mentor that's going to support you, but you gotta really like their energies, okay? Because you will absorb those energies. Um, and yeah, you know. So I'm going to stop right here because this video will continue and continue and continue. So I felt that that gave me inspiration to really speak up about this. And this whole movement thing with this lady was like last year and stuff like that. But it gives you more of an understanding and of an intake of how other people approach things and do things. And I think that allows you to really grasp and an understanding of what it is that you want to do and how you want to do it and what it is that you'd like to join. Not even just about healing your old wounds, but because everybody has wounds. Everybody has wounds. It doesn't matter. Like I said, you can be a wizard, you can be a witch, the greatest of the greatest of the greatest. You're still gonna have wounds, right? We live on Earth. We've got physical existence. We're gonna have wounds. We're constantly exposed. Constantly. So, especially as a shaman, like, shamans have enemies. And the more gifted you are in shamanism, the more enemies you will make. So, I work on my shit every day. It's just something that I do. It's a responsibility that I've taken. Literally. I've put in my finger up. I have signed the signature with my name. That I'm responsible with this work. So, okay, guys. Hope to make some more videos soon. Won't say when exactly, but I will. Ciao!